Okay, welcome back to Views from the Grand East. I am your host, Right Worshipful Ruben Flatus. Today I am joined by Carlos Garcia. He's a Master Mason out of Peninsula, Lodge number 99 in Bayonne, the home of the Grand Master. We got to meet down in Grand Lodge Communication, right? Down in Atlantic City.
Yep, I was a bartender.
They had him working hard, and we got to meet and talk. And you were sharing with my good friend, Right Worshipful Campbell. He was there with me, and you were telling us a story about Freemasonry. So we're here today to share that story so that you can hear what Freemasonry has done for you, and how it might be a help to others. All right, so Carlos, right? Let's start with how long have you been a Mason?
I've been a Mason since 2024.
2024. All right, so still fairly
still fresh.
When do you remember like when you were raised?
It was in April.
Of 24 or?
No, 25.
In 25?
Yes. I was done. I became a Master Mason in April.
Oh, they put you to work right away.
Yeah, they put me to work. It was not playing. They was like, Carlos, sit right there. I was like, just sit here.
Yeah. Welcome to Freemasonry, right? Yeah. All right, so still fairly new Mason, right? But how is it that you came to find Freemasonry?
So back in 2018, I had let me rewind that. Back in 2016, my daughter was diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah.
And a lot's been happening. So my wife and I decided to not only not keep everything to ourselves and just let everybody know what's going on, because it was a rare form of cancer.
Okay.
And whatever we going through at that moment was going to help somebody else that's starting from ground to pretty much one.
Yeah.
The first level and stuff. One day I met Ricky Roman. They was doing like an event for Gianna. Mm-hmm. And he was telling me, listen, I'm a Freemason, and I would like to do something for you guys. We're going to do a softball event. At the time, I don't know what Freemasonry was. So I was like, okay, no problem. You know, I didn't think nothing of it. Then a couple of months go down, they had a conversation with me and my wife. They sat us down and told her what they was going to do, that they didn't want us to do anything, just to show up.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. We did it. And from there, I just say that it was great. Like, I met a lot of great people. You know, the fundraiser was the event it raised a lot of money, and I just say that it really helped us with the bills and helped us go by and stuff like that. And I'm so extremely grateful for it. Very grateful.
Shout out to Worshipful Master, right?
Yes,
just installed, right?
Just became Worshipful
Ricky
Master.
Roman. So yeah, Ricky, great guy.
Yes,
loves Freemasonry. That's a worker. That's a worker in Freemasonry.
That's my dude.
So you got help from the Freemasons, right? You met Ricky and stuff like that. One of the things you said, like you would travel to the streets and you kept seeing guys and you're like, oh, that's a Mason. It's a Mason.
Yeah, now. Yeah. Now it's different. Now, once I became a Freemason, you know, everybody that you walk by, you probably say, oh, you're a Mason. You can tell. Yeah. And either they have like a little symbol.
Something.
Or they see you dressed up walking somewhere on a Thursday. After work. Like, come on. Yeah. So you can tell the difference. You can tell the difference which one is a Mason, which one is not.
The big thing for me was I wanted to be a Mason for years, back from when I was 21. I didn't become one until I was 35.
Wow.
Right? But I feel being an architect at work, I don't know if I might have stuck with it, you know, because I was a younger mindset, different now. But I remember going to all these places. Like there's a lodge in Lambertville. You have to forgive me. We're going to have to find the name. But I would always go to New Hope. And so you cross from Lambertville into New Hope, and I never saw a lodge. I become a Mason. And we go back our little annual trip, and I'm like, oh, there's a lodge. And then here's a lodge. And you just start seeing it, you know, because your brain, I guess, is looking for it. But then I remember even when I became a Mason, a lot of the guys that are, this is my mother lodge here at Niram, you know, they were kind enough to let us record here. My mother lodge, a lot of the guys I knew years in advance. I had seen them, but I guess I just wasn't looking. You're like, the brain wasn't. And now, like, you know, everywhere you go, like you said, you start to see the people, and you just catch things that you wouldn't catch before. The rings.
Yes,
the
rings, the car, the emblems in the car.
Yeah,
it's crazy. You know what's funny? Luis Diaz, the worship from, ritualist for Grandmaster.
Yeah.
He lives across the street from me.
Got the best hair in the business. There's competition. We're gonna have a competition.
I mean,
for best
I'm saying,
hair.
I got Masons that live in the same block as me, and they see me every day, and it's not one day I don't go by and have a conversation with them. Yeah. They'll tell me how I'm doing and stuff. I mean, being a Mason was the best thing I've done for myself, because the one thing they said is to become a better man. Me personally, I was looking for ways to become better, because since my daughter passed away, a lot of things changed. You know, just say that those 3 years, almost 4 years now, a lot of things happened, and I needed something to not depend on, more like what's that word I'm looking for? Support.
Huh.
I needed it was that time of my life. I'm like, what's next? Besides me having the baby, my rainbow baby Charlotte, and my other daughter, when she's 14 now, it's just been like an amazing experience for me, and I won't regret nothing I had done. All the steps that I had to take to become a Freemason, it's just blessing. It's a blessing.
So not to get into like too painful waters, but I know you had mentioned, so your daughter, she did have like time longer than that was expected, right?
It was 6 years.
Yeah.
They told us that she wasn't going to make it 12 years old.
Yeah.
And she made it to 14.
Yeah.
So what happened was that I'm not going to go give you the 6 years rundown because it's a lot to talk about.
Sure.
But I'm going to give you the very last.
Bullet points.
So what happened was, once she was diagnosed, she got about like 6 to 8 surgeries on the back and the brain.
Yeah.
The first tumor that came out, she named it Eddie. So the tumor was as big as a grapefruit when it came out. They said when they cut it open, it just literally popped out.
Yeah.
So I was like,
so there was just a lot of pressure.
It was a lot. It was a lot. We thought it was a migraine. This is back in 2016. We thought it was a regular migraine. Yeah. And it ended up becoming something worse than that. The journey was hard. It was more like, you gotta be the parent. Yeah. You gotta be like the tough person. Sure. But what sucked about it is that, us dads and, obviously the moms, we try our best to make sure our kids are not sick. We try our best to pretty much be the support, like, you got this, you gotta make sure you're doing okay. But and deep down inside, they hurting every day. They crying, they medication. They taking adult medication at 8. And it was crazy. There was one.
So she was diagnosed at 8?
She was diagnosed at 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
She was diagnosed at 8 years old. And I'm telling you that our normal, like for everybody else, is not normal for them. Like, we still trying to figure out what's our normal now after my daughter passed away. Like, perfect example, COVID happened, right? Yeah. How everybody had to be masked up, gloves on. I've been doing that before even COVID existed. Oh, okay. Because for her. I was her nurse. I was the doctor. I was everything in that house. And, and I had a good job. I had a nice corporate job. I used to do commercials, believe it or not. I used to do the closed captioning before we actually aired them. Okay. So I loved the job, but there was, I had to choose my daughter or job.
It's not a hard choice.
And I was, they were a little sad that I left, but they always told me I had my job back, but I never went back. I didn't want to lose no more, it was to the point that I said, I cannot miss nothing else in my daughter's life.
Be there for it. Yeah.
So my whole mindset shift, it changed. So fast forward, back in 2018, they did the softball event, which was fantastic.
This was the fundraiser they did?
Yes. There was the fundraiser they did. It was like, I wasn't expecting this. Yeah. I wasn't expecting this at all. I didn't know how.
What kind of turnout did you get?
It was a big turnout. Yeah. It was a lot of people, like people I didn't know. Yeah. People that knew about Gigi's story. It was amazing. It was
when you talked to us about it, I mean, Art and I were just floored, like, wow.
Yeah, because
to hear what Peninsula did to step up was just amazing.
And on top of that, I had learned a lot. I had learned that, it's not only the body you got to focus on. You got to focus on the mind, because the mind is the most important thing of your body. Sure. So when the doctor said, listen, there's nothing else we can do. There's no more surgery. There's nothing that can actually save her. So me and my wife was like, she was breaking down in the middle of the street. I remember like it was yesterday. And tell her, why is this happening to my daughter? I said, we got one more thing to do. And she was like, what? So we got to work on her mind. We got to start working on her mind, because it was better than trying to make her feel like, oh, I feel like crap. Nah, don't say that. Just say, I'm blessed and happy. I'm happy and grateful that I'm alive today. Excuse me. Yeah. And then, I implemented that into her head so much that every time she stood in the hospital, just say that, all right, I used to tell Gigi, what day you want to leave? Oh, I want to leave on a Tuesday. So every day until Tuesday comes, you say that you're leaving on Tuesday. And you know what? Tuesday comes, she was gone. Discharged, ready to go. Yeah. And I was like, see, it worked. That one time they gave me the, okay, now I'm going to keep doing it now, because she all this stuff. You know how many times that I see this girl, the many times that I felt like she wasn't going to come home at those 6 years. And every time she come out stronger. But then later on, when she got a little older, they even told her she wasn't going to see 13. She ended up seeing 13 and everything. But was it the same girl that was running around? No.
No, yeah.
After a while, it
Slowly
takes
starts to take its toll.
It takes its toll. Yeah. So just saying, towards the ending, she was on wheelchair-ized. So it kind of sucks. So I'm like, all right, it's okay. We're going to still do it anyway. Regardless of the fact I'm here. I'm going to be your back, your arms, your legs, whatever you need me. I was there for her. And until today, I do miss the little girl a lot. Everybody knows that. We still talk about it because I always tell everybody we die twice. The day we die and the day people stop talking about you. So I pretty much just keep talking about her over and over again so her spirit and her soul can continue living on.
I like. There's some. We're going to talk after this about that, but about living on. Was she able to, like when they did this softball game? Was she there for that?
Yes.
So she got to get to experience that.
Yeah,
which is great.
she actually threw the softball. She actually threw it. She was excited. She got all the ice cream, all the burgers, hot dogs she wanted. Good. She was good. She was it was a very hot day that day too. So it was amazing. They decorated the field like the cancer symbol in the field. Okay. They put her name. Everything. It was nice. It was nice. It was nice. I can remember it like it was yesterday. They gave us green shirts out because that was her favorite color at the time. Okay. They gave us green shirt that says Team Gianna on it, which is pretty cool.
That's great that she got to see it though. Yes. That to me, because you know what, if that's towards the end of your days, but you saw that people cared. Yeah. I think that's a good feeling.
And what's crazy? That was the beginning stages of it.
Really?
Because at that time, they told us she was going to have us. It's going to be hard for her to walk again. So I was able to not only that walk, she was running and riding a bike. So for her to do that, for having an imbalance issue, I was so proud of myself.
It's just a blessing in itself.
It was a blessing when I see that little girl riding her bike and not crooked, straight. Yeah. So I was like, okay, so I'm doing something right. Yeah. But the hard one was my other daughter. That one she was a pain in the butt. It was harder to ride, to her to show her how to ride the bike compared to my older one. And she got it 1, 2, 3 with no problem. And she was going through a lot at the time. Yeah. But, it happens.
So to kind of recap, so then now you met Ricky, the lodge put together in the town this big fundraiser for you. They generated some funds that helped you get through times and stuff like that. Yes. Those
medical bills were expensive.
Everybody knows that. So yeah. So it's great. Like that's what moved me. I was like, wow. So this lodge really stepped up. Right, these guys that you weren't even a brother at the time.
I didn't even know. I only met Ricky because of a mutual friend of ours. Yeah. And not to mention, his daughter was a cheerleader, so she was there. Okay. So, like I said, the cheerleaders did something for G. They did a fundraiser. That's when I met Ricky. Mm-hmm. So I was all right, cool. But again, I didn't put 2 and 2 of it. I wasn't I didn't know what Freemasonry. Like he said, I'm a Freemason. That's it. I don't know what else. I didn't Google it. What was Freemasonry? None of that.
He could have told you he was from Planet Nibiru. It wouldn't matter.
It wouldn't matter because at that time I wasn't even thinking about none of these things. I wasn't thinking about my main focus is, all right, what's the next step? Because I always want to think forward.
So the daughter was a cheerleader. That's how you met?
Yes, that's how I met Ricky. And from there, it took off. They did the fundraiser. It was a credible event. And listen, now me being part of and also not to mention I'm part of the softball charity board. So not only that, I experienced it as the person that was given the big, don't do anything, just sit there, just enjoy it, to actually be part of the whole organization, how they started, how they did this, how they did that. And I'm impressed to the point that our last event, it kind of touched me because the lady, she has cancer and she ended up in a wheelchair. And the same way how her whole right side is paralyzed, that was Gianna. So it brought me back memories. I'm like, damn, I remember everything. So I told her husband, I was like, I was you once upon a time. He was like, yes, I was you. The only difference, it was a little girl, but she was 14 and she was growing.
No, it still resonates like you.
Yeah, so
You've seen it.
I seen it all. I remember everything, like the pain that she was going through, the nights, the sleeping nights, the walking back and forth in the house by yourself. Meanwhile, you have to make sure your other daughter is okay. The separation, it was a lot. It was a lot. But again, when it comes to Freemasonry and everything else, they really they stepped up in the right time when I needed needed them.
I thought
the
you were a
most.
Mason at the time when you first told me.
No, I wasn't.
And so now this is the misconception I had from when we talked down at Grand Lodge. I thought you were like you had just become a brother, and then they found out, and then that's why.
No, they did the event first, then I became.
And
a
then you
Mason
became one
later
after.
on. Yes.
So Gigi was already gone. She had passed, and then you became a Mason.
Yes, it's been 2 years when Gigi passed. I became a Mason.
And so that gave you, like you said, that support. That's something to put energy into.
And then you know what's funny? Once what happened? I'm gonna tell you how that happened.
Okay.
So I saw Ricky. He was going to this local restaurant, breakfast spot we go to. Everybody in Leon goes to this one spot. So I seen them. I was like, yo, Ricky, I want to join the Mason. What is the best time to go? He was like, yo, come on Thursday. A bunch of the brothers is gonna be there. You just show up.
Yeah.
All right. So I showed up.
Yeah.
And then I liked the flow. I liked the environment. I liked how everybody, was introduced to me. I was introduced to everybody. And then the funny part is half of the people, I already know them already because I see them all the time.
Yeah.
It's not a big spot. So, I'm like, all right. That's when I found out Louis was my neighbor because he was like, I know you. I was like, I know you too. Don't you live across the street from me? I was like, yeah. But yeah, that was fun. But
shout out to the right worshipful Louis Diaz.
Yes.
He's DDGM this year, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Louis DDGM over there in the 5th.
Yes, on the 5th district. Listen, the best thing that ever happened to me was becoming a Mason, like I said earlier, because it was, like I said, it was a point in my life that I didn't know what else to do. I was depressed, but I was hiding it towards myself. And I kept it there. Like,
that's what a lot of men do.
Exactly. And I didn't know that because people told me, because I'm the type of cat that people think that you call Carlos going to talk to you how he feels and he's going to give you the positive mental thing that you're looking for. But sometimes when I needed to be towards me, I ain't had nobody because I was the one I was giving it to people. So, one day I did what I had to do, kept showing up. Next thing I know, I had people say, yo, we coming to your house for the petition. We're going to see your family and everything else. And it went from there. And I never looked back.
That's it.
I just kept going.
Now you drink the Kool-Aid.
Drink the Kool-Aid.
The goats and all that.
I ate goat, duck.
We were joking earlier about it, how you want to become a Mason and everyone's like with the goats and all this crazy stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. And then, people really think when they look into like Google and YouTube and stuff like that, they're going to see all the crazy stuff. And I'm really looking at it, I say, yo, none of that stuff happened.
Nothing.
Where they getting this information from?
So let's get into that because you are a newer Mason.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
so, 24, you were raised in 25, became Master Mason in April, you said at 25. So for someone that's interested in Freemasonry, right? Let's start with, what's your favorite part about it? If you could pick one thing to say, this is my favorite part about Freemasonry, maybe two or whatever, but give us what you think is,
It's just a lot I like about Freemasonry. That's the same.
It's hard to pinpoint sometimes, right?
Well, you know what? Once I was allowed to actually come up as a Master Mason, I think that was the best I get to see what's actually going on and what's actually going to happen. That was I was like, I felt that I worked too hard to get what I'm at now. And I'm like, I don't want to let this go for nothing.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of people that you get to, like, that you sitting with doctors. I met a bunch of doctors, lawyers. I'm like, damn, I never knew none of these people in my life. And look, I got connections. If something ever happens, I can just talk to one of my brothers. Listen, this is happening. Can you look out? Yeah, of course, I got you. That was the best thing. To me, that was the best thing for me because I gained brothers, and I have nieces and nephews, sisters-in-laws. Like, it's more like I take brotherhood very seriously. Yeah. Even though I'm a sibling, I have 10. It's 10 of us, and I don't hardly speak to my siblings compared to I speak to all my brothers for Masonry, which is insane.
I look at it. If I had to pick the favorite part about Freemasonry, it's kind of in line with what you said, right? And for me, it is the brotherhood. But what's interesting enough is that there's men, like I came to this lodge and there's men that are older than me.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And again, like you said, all different professions and backgrounds. We had guys that were younger than us. All right. So I had older men that were giving me some knowledge, but even I can give them knowledge. Yes. Right? Because, maybe I have more modern stuff and they were giving me experiences, past experience. And I love hearing people tell stories about life because you can learn so many pearls of wisdom. Like you were talking about, hey, like, no, I'm going to talk about this because if someone else has to go through this, at least they can learn. And that knowledge, that education, that sharing, we talk about light. Yep.
And you know what's funny?
Some of the best parts
I learned that before Masonry. Yeah. So what happened was that me and my wife had a conversation. I say, babe, you know, the world needs to hear this. And she was like, you sure? I was like, you know why? Because somebody else is going to go through what we went through, and they're going to come to us and tell us, what did we do? So except keeping everything to ourselves, just use Facebook as a platform. Yo, we had 10,000 people on the live, and everybody showing us love, talking how strong we are. But then again, you know, and then you see Gigi sometimes is in the hospital, sometimes she's at home having a good time. But then again, they see how we became. They see how we become that power couple that made sure, because, you know, believe it or not, and I hate to say this, but families break up when it comes to kids that have cancer.
Sure.
For example, I had a friend, him and his wife, they separated. They
No, it's not in place. I've heard that story.
You know what I'm saying?
Unfortunately, I've heard that story too many times.
And it sucks because, yo, you know, I've been through the pressure. I've been through the depression. I've seen everything. But the one thing I told, my wife is my best friend. If I wasn't like, you know, if I was one of those guys and say, I don't want to do this, you know, I can just get up and leave. But why wouldn't I do that? Put all the burden on her and let me go. I'll be the only idiot to just leave without nothing. It would have hurt me more than it would have hurt her.
Sure.
And I listen.
That's what makes you a good man.
Yes. And you know what? A lot of people, sometimes they can't be in my shoes.
I have someone that talked to me about this that had a son. When I was young, the same thing too. I had a friend that was 8 years old and he died of brain cancer. I had another friend who lost his son at 11. Him and his wife didn't make it. And it's interesting enough that there's like, it's almost like a chemical thing. I don't want to cheapen it, but when you're in that level of sadness and stress, the cortisol, all these things, it stops the oxytocin production, which is love and stuff.
Yes.
And it's hard to find love because you're just physically, chemically can't find it.
Yep.
Like your body's not there. And so now you're going off of memory and this and that. And so to stay in it is tough. But you know what? Like you said, no, I'm still here. I could have walked away, but I didn't. But you still have your other kids too.
Yeah.
You got to be there for them too.
I only had a Maya at the time.
Yeah.
Charlotte came later on.
Yeah.
It was only a Maya. Maya was when G was 8. Maya was 4.
Okay.
So she was just a toddler going, and she didn't even start kindergarten yet.
Yeah.
So for me to when I was talking about before about the separation, that was I was talking about. I had to stay home with my little one while my wife was in the hospital with G.
Okay.
And it was hard.
Yeah.
Like my wife was missing me and my daughter, and vice versa. And then we'll switch, and I'll stay there for a couple of days, almost a week, and we'll play video games. Like, because when you go to a children's hospitals, they make the kids so comfortable that they'll play games in their room, and they have all the games that you can ask for.
Yeah.
So me and my daughter will play games all day.
Yeah.
So, but again, sometimes it's like, I want to be, you here, I want to go home. I don't want to be here anymore. And that kills you because you can't, at that time, you got to wait.
Yeah. There's a certain level of like helplessness with that. Yeah, you can't really do much.
It's been a lot. But like I said, it was a journey that I hope my experiences that I've been through, that my wife been through, can help somebody else. And like, if anybody got any questions, feel free to call me. I'm good when it comes to, I'm a good listener. At the same time, I'm gonna give you the best advice that you need.
Well, you know what you could do? Give me your email.
Okay.
Because I want to put your phone number out there because God knows who calls
Gotcha.
you. You might get some wild calls. But let's do an email, all right?
Okay.
And so, guys, we're going to put Carlos's email in the description under this video. If you're going through some tough times, you know, your family, you're dealing with cancer, stuff like that, and, you know, here's a man who's been through it. He's a brother. Reach out to him. And, you know, he can help you, at least give you some steps on how to deal, how to get through.
Yes.
Because, again, we're skipping a lot of details that you went to, and I don't want to go there. But, again, what you said to Art and I really, it resonated with me. Happy to find out more that this happened before you were a Mason.
Yes,
I thought it was like, oh, you were a Mason, and then the brothers stepped up. You're like, no, they did this without you being a brother.
And
that speaks even higher volumes to me.
I didn't know nothing about Freemasonry, nothing. I'm like, I was when he told me what it was, I was like, what is that? And it stuck with me. I was like, what is that? Yo, I told my wife, you know what? She's like, no. And I ain't played nothing of it. And then later on, then they called us, they told us to come through. We came through, and they talked and told us everything. And when we saw the banner of Gigi's name and the symbol, everything, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know the Peninsula Lodge was a lodge until you actually walk in here.
Because it looks like a church. Yeah. It's a big church, really.
Yeah,
right?
but like I said, millions of times, I don't regret it. Don't regret it at all.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Any advice for a new Mason?
Any advice? Enjoy the journey, because listen, being a Mason for me was, and for the new guys, it's all about it's coming out of your shell, because you never know who you're going to talk to until you actually talk to them.
Yeah.
I also think that don't be scared. Whatever happens, don't be scared. They got your back. You're gonna do good, and don't freak out. That's the best thing I can tell you, because a lot of people were nervous when you first started, but once you get in the groove of things, it's a piece of cake.
Coming through in the same way and manner as all those who have gone this way before, right?
That's right.
We've all done it.
Yep.
We're all here. We're all safe. We're all okay.
Yep. The one thing they told me was, Carlos, whatever you do, don't swing. I was like, what? What you mean, don't swing?
I think every lodge got something to do to somebody to get
I
us
was
thinking
like,
something.
wait, hold on, time out. Before I walk out the thing, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, man, listen, sometimes you just got to go through it. Just go with the flow. Don't be scared. Because everything is meant for you to happen. It's meant to happen. It's meant to happen.
Well, special shout out to Ricky Roman again, Peninsula Lodge 99 in Bayonne.
Yes.
What a beautiful story to hear that this lodge was here for you.
Yes.
To help you in a time of need when you weren't even a Mason.
I wasn't even a Mason yet.
And,
that's crazy.
And here you are now. And again, you and I got to meet simply because of that.
Yeah.
Right? We're getting to share this story, this experience, this brotherhood, because of Freemasonry. Like, without it, and the amount of men that I've met in this that I would have never met. I was told when I first came in, you might wake up one day and the people closest to you are Freemasons. And that has come to pass. Like, it really, for me, has come to pass. I still got my real friends and stuff like that, but the amount of time that I've invested in Freemasonry, but it's no longer investment, because I'm spending time with my actual brothers that are some of my closest friends. They become my family. I don't have a lot of family. Like you were saying, hey, I got a lot of brothers and sisters, stuff like that. In this country, I really just, as of right now, immediate, like, direct blood family is my mother. My father's in Georgia. Okay. I got two half sisters in Florida. I'm really not connected with them. And then my cousin, my aunt. That's about it. Like, and I got other family that they married to, but it's not really the extensive family. And then I came into Freemasonry, and I'm spending some holidays with people. Like this year, we did New Year's together. A lot of the brothers here in the lodge.
Nice.
And we did New Year's Eve together, and so this family that I have been invited to, adopted, whatever you want to call it, is now becoming part of my life, right? And there's been so many blessings in so many ways. And I could say that's probably one of the second best things about Freemasonry for me, is that it became an extended family.
Yes. Right? I can't agree more.
Yeah.
That's so true, because like I said, once you became a Mason, everybody knows who you are, number one. And going to Atlantic City was one of the best things for me, because not only that, I went there to support, my lodge, and not to mention to see Omar to get his thing and stuff. I met a lot of people.
Well, especially if you're the bartender, you're going to meet a lot of people. Yeah,
I knew a lot of people. Yeah. It was to the point they was like, Carl, you remember my drink? No.
Yeah. That my first major experience was Grand Lodge communication. And it really gave me understanding a better scope of how big Freemasonry is, right? Because we might travel within our district. Some people don't even travel out of their lodge.
Exactly.
Right. And so for me, the greatest lesson I can share with anybody is travel. Right? We're supposed to be traveling men. To travel, get out there, go to other lodges, meet different brothers. And for example, you go to Grand Lodge communication, you can meet so many.
Yep.
So many people there. I don't know the number, but it's probably a couple thousand are there between them, their spouses. You get into the room and everyone's there, and it's great. We're hurting the next day because you were serving so many drinks.
Oh my God! I think I was ODing with the alcohol, but people kept coming back.
Yeah. It's great though, man.
They keep coming back.
We're having fun. The food's going around. We're
good,
talking.
everything.
Music's playing.
And they will tell me the question is, "Are you going to be there November 13th?" Now, where the official visit, the official visit happened on the day of my birthday. I just turned 40. There was, oh yeah, you're gonna come for the official visit. Omar's gonna be. I was like, yeah, it's my birthday. I'm definitely gonna be there. Yeah. They was like, why are you not celebrating? I said, well, I can celebrate with my brothers. Yeah, that's what we all here for. I had a good time. Time, and I get to celebrate Omar at the same time celebrate my birthday. I can't beat that.
One of the things I love about your lodge, and a few people have probably heard me quote it, especially in my lodge, is Peninsula has amazing brotherhood and fellowship.
Yes, they do.
Right. I mean, our Grandmaster coined fellowshipping, right, which was a thing. So, but you guys really do fellowshipping there at the next level. Also, I love that you got that little side room,
Yes,
the pool table,
yes.
stuff like that. But every time I go to Peninsula, you got people like Ricky there that are really just great energy, great camaraderie, hospitality's top notch.
Yes.
Right. And so you go there, you feel welcome at the lodge, right? But you see the brotherhood, you see the relationship, and to see what you're saying, hey, I'm in the streets, and I'm like, oh, there's another brother. There's another brother. So there's a lot of guys that you could tell that are in the area, that are local, they're involved with the town, which I know some lodges are. Like in my district, we're here in the 4th. I know, for example, Euclid Lodge. Shout out to Euclid Lodge. In the 4th, they got guys that are on council. They're involved in their town. They're in the parade, stuff like that. I know Bayonne is. You guys walk a lot in the stuff.
Yeah.
And,
I'm not looking forward for the march, the march parade, but I'm going to march it just because I'm walking with my brothers.
And so that involvement that they had in the town also was the same involvement they had with you, because you were a guy from the town, right? And this fundraising, all that stuff.
Just say that the town, like, what they say, that it takes the village to raise one child. That saying, like, it popped up when all this thing was happening with my daughter. I'm like, oh man, they're not lying.
Yeah.
It takes a village to raise a kid. I was like, that's the truth.
Yeah.
Because not only that they was looking out for G, but they was also looking out for Amaya. When I couldn't make it to pick up, I might have somebody that know me and my family very well, and they will come pick them up. Even the schools. When G passed away, my daughter couldn't finish school, like complete school for the whole day, because she'll break down. So they'll say, look, Carlos, this is what we're going to do. We're going to let her leave at 12 o'clock every day until she decided to come back to normal. I said, cool. When I talk about everybody, like, so today, because my daughter graduates this year for the school she's in now, and I remember when she was this big, and I remember when, the crazy thing that happened and stuff like that, and look where your daughter is now. She's tall. She did a whole speech. Like, I'm a proud dad. So she did a whole speech, and she talked about how proud that I'm proud of her, and my wife is proud of her, and she also said that we didn't experience what we experienced with my older daughter, but with her, we see everything. And she was like, she started crying. Oh my God. It was emotional, but I'm a very proud dad. I can't take that away from her.
It was beautiful.
Yes, that was last week. And I was like, red eyes and everything. I was like, damn, I'm a tough guy.
Yeah.
You had me crying because of what you said. But then again, I had a conversation. I said, for when you've been through for the past 6 years with your sister, no little kid should deserve going through what you've been through.
That's tough too.
Yeah,
for her, because and again, that's her sister. She was older sister too, right?
Yeah, I was the oldest.
A lot of you looking up, and then she's going through these hard times. Yeah.
When she first started kindergarten, she didn't know how to tie her sneaker or spell her name. She knew what type of medication Gigi needs to take or what time it has to be taken. I was like, she knew words of, I didn't even know how to say it. I was like, I hear mommy say it.
She's paying attention. Yeah, her brain's like a sponge.
And it's crazy. My 4-year-old now, she's autistic.
Okay.
So she's very high functioning, but a lot of things that, you talk to her, she can hear you, but she won't look at you in your face.
Yeah.
So she'd be like, oh, Papi, mommy said you got to get Gigi Sofran. I was like, you sure? I was like, yes. Mommy said twice a day. So, okay. And I gave it to her. Or sometimes she'll let Papi, don't worry about it. Gigi told me which time she had like a timer. And her thing will go off and Maya will be running. Papi, wait, I got it. So she'll open the door, take the medication out, put it in her hand, give it to her sister, and her sister will do it. And she'll say, oh, you're the best little sister I ever have. And that y'all used to hurt me. I was like, see, I like that. I did that.
That's good. Is your family now kind of involved with Freemasonry? Like your wife's kids?
Oh, my, you know what it is? I want my wife to be fully involved with whatever I do. Yeah. But because of Charlotte, she's 3 and she's a toddler. She's going through like a pain in the butt stage. Yeah. And I don't want to chase no kid over the lodge. I'm sorry. I'm too old to be running up and down the stairs with this little 3-year-old. But I love the kid alone. But I told my wife starting, little more, when we do like little gatherings, I want you to come. Yeah. She said, oh, of course, I definitely want to show up. Like, she's been at all the charity events that we had done, she was there. So I'm not saying.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like, is she always coming stuff like that? She's there?
Of course.
Because anytime I go to the Peninsula group, anything that you guys throw over there, you see all the family.
Yeah, everybody's there. All the families
yeah,
there.
everyone's very close. And that's why it's that extended family. Like, it's huge.
It's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, the Ricky's installation, I photographed the installation, and that room was stacked.
It was stacked.
Stacked with people,
And they threw me in there too. Yeah. They threw me in there. They told me that I'll be on the line next year. I said, all right, cool, no problem. So I wasn't even thinking nothing of it. Oh, I'll come in. Oh, Carlos, I need to do a huge favor. I was like, oh, what is it? And I have white gloves on, and they're talking. I was like, okay, I'll do this.
That's what it's all about. You step in, you help out. You do what you can.
Listen, I'm impressing myself. I'm impressed at what I have done, and all the connections that I made. Like, it's the relationships. It's amazing. It's amazing for me.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Well, Carlos, again, thank you for taking time out of your day to come here, spend time with us,
I do everything
to share
for my
your story.
brothers.
I know you do, man. I know you do. I know you got, like I said, I got the feeling when you and I met and we were talking, and it was great. I had brought Art over, we talked, and I wanted you to just share a little bit about this story. I think it's important that we start to share what real Freemasonry is. Yeah. Because like you were saying, you go online, you look it up, and it's not this story.
Nope.
It's something, whatever somebody made up. So again, thank you for sharing this with us.
You're welcome.
Taking the time. And to you, the viewer, thank you for watching another episode here of Views from the Grand East. Again, I am your host, Right Worshipful Ruben Flatus, and our brother Carlos Garcia here. And a shout out to the man behind the camera, Worshipful Brother, or Worshipful Master, because you're really working this year, right?
Sheesh.
Gabe George in here. All right, so from Views from the Grand East, we thank you again. Take care.
Later, guys.